All right, let's talk about health bars for a moment. So I've created a new actor called Health Bar. And then here in Health Bar, I've talked about a size 15 by 15. Now at 15 by 15, you may have some trouble getting hold of it. So sometimes what I do is I might make it bigger to start off with. Maybe I'll make it 30 by 30, same as I make some default actors on this. And then once I get it 30 by 30, I move it to where I want it. And then when I get it approximately where I want it, if I want to jockey it around, obviously I can move it to the left just by changing this value here, or I can move it down just a smidge by changing this value here. So once I get it on the screen, I can just use its X and Y values. So I'm going to knock its size down to about half that right now. I'm going to go 15 by 15. Depends on how big you want your health bar. Right? And that to me is going to work for right now. So then the main thing that we're going to look at here for a moment is something called replicate. So as you can see, this is not in a conditional of any sort. So if I go over here, I can just find it right here, replicate, pull it down. So remember, we had this thing called game HP and it equals 100. So what this will do is it will replicate this particular guy, which is 15 by 15, in the direction of 0, which is to the right, with a spacing of 2, which means it'll be about 200 units long, one way, shape, form, or another. If I'd make this spacing 1, it would maybe only be 100 units long. We'll check out the difference here in a moment. So let's take a real quick look. So here's a spacing of 2. Here's how long it is. If I went back and spaced it at 1, that means it's only replicating it with a spacing of 1, so obviously much shorter. If I spaced it at 3, I'm pretty sure it would go off the screen. Here's another way for you to take a look at it, just so you can kind of see what replicate does. I'm going to make the width 1 for a moment. And with the width 1, click off of it, and you'll see it kind of just turns into a line. And with a spacing of 1, let's see what it looks like. Pretty short. If I go up to a spacing of 2, it should get a little longer. And watch what happens when I go to a spacing of 3, just because I've only made it a width 1 for right now. So actually now there should be space in between them all, and it goes off the screen. So there's a little bit of difference in something you can play around with Health Bar depending on how you want it to look. I'm going to go back to editor, and you'll notice that if I get hit, since it relies solely on HP, as soon as I get hit, it goes down, and you'll also notice it changed color. So let's go back here to editor again, and you'll see how we made it change colors. So basic concept is I just use an attribute conditional. I said if game HP is less than or equal to 50, then, and I went in here to the things colors, set self color red, self color blue, self color green, and I just set them to different values. Now, if you want to choose an image of some sort and you want to start off, find some other sort of color, if you'll just for a moment take your image here and just highlight color, and let's say you wanted to pick it to change to light blue for some reasons and say okay, then let's go take a look. Light blue, say okay. Oh, that's just still that's the actual, not the prototype. So we're working on instance here, so I'd actually have to click on that guy over there. I wanted to still do this for you here though, so let me make the size a little bigger. I'm gonna make the size 15, and I should be able to click on it at 15. Click on it. Click on it. Health bar instance. Change it to light blue. Okay, there we changed it. And so now it'll still change to red from light blue, but I wanted to change it from light blue to green. So let's see how we would do that. Let's go look at the colors here for a moment. So if you expand the color, we'll notice that the red is 0.5 roughly, and the green and the blue is 1 and 1, and the alpha is 1. So I changed the red to roughly that decimal. So since it's 0.5, it's going to be pretty close. This says change it to 1. This says change it to 1. And now I should be able to change it from there. Now I go back to the original, and I double click on the original. Can I get it? I think I got it. And I double click and I change it back to my green. And I hit OK. And now if I hit start and he loses 2, hopefully we'll see him change to light blue as opposed to changing to red. There you go. Good enough for right now. And so how do you find these colors? I'll just go back and I'll look at one real quick. I'll add another one. Change attribute. And if we're going to change attribute, we're going to hit the alpha. and then we're going to go attributes, health bar, and you'll see right here it's color. If we want to change the red, green, or blue, we just put that in there. Sadly, you got to put them all three in. And alpha has to deal with opacity. So if your alpha is equal to 1, you'll be able to see it. If you want it slightly transparent, like with the force field, bring the alpha down to like 0.5 for 50% or 0.2 for 20%. And that's a pretty good lesson on health bars. Thanks.